In this presentation, I'm going to go over the progress reports and the Courage in Calling reflection assignments. I provided the assignment directions in the assignment link as PDF files, but it's also included in the syllabus. So if you have those, follow along. Pretty straightforward here. The progress report, the main reason why I have the progress reports is just to make sure that you are making progress on the professional portfolios. Now, for the first 2 weeks of our class, you have been making progress on your portfolios because you've been writing rough drafts. So what you'll write is a 1 to 2 paragraph report describing the activities that you did in our first 2 weeks of our class to complete the professional portfolio. Pretty straightforward since you've been doing the rough drafts. Now you'll see later in our course that you'll have additional progress reports due. So in those reports, you'll explain what you've done on writing your professional portfolio during those couple weeks. The goal is to demonstrate how you have completed 3 to 6 hours per week working on your professional portfolios. What you've been doing to show that you've been working on your professional portfolios during those weeks. Then I would also include a paragraph explaining the goals that you have for the upcoming week. For your first progress report, what goals do you have for weeks 3 and 4 to complete your professional portfolio? Okay, that's really all you need to describe in your progress reports. And you'll see here in the syllabus that you need to also report the number of hours that you've worked. So your first progress report, you're going to report the number of hours that you worked in weeks 1 and 2. So that's why you don't want to turn in your progress report until the end of week 2. You don't have to explain anything to me that you've done during your job. You just need to say that I worked 40 hours in week 1 and I worked 35 hours in week 2 as a PE teacher, or I've worked whatever as a coach or as a strength and conditioning coach. You have to work a minimum of 9 hours, but just report the number of hours that you work. Now you see in progress report 2, you will report the hours that you worked for weeks 3 through 6. In progress report 3, you will report the hours that you worked during weeks 7 through 10. You also include your Courage in Calling reflection in your progress report. And so let's go ahead and go to that assignment, which is also in the syllabus. It's also attached in this assignment link. So you're going to read Smith's Courage in Calling, Embracing Your God-Given Potential text. I want you to provide a reflection on what you've learned and how you can specifically apply the material to your professional life. You can also do your personal life too. I'm okay with that. You're going to include all these assignments in different assignments, and I provided the list of what assignment and what chapter that you'll submit that particular Courage in Calling reflection. So your first progress report, you're just going to read chapter 1, and you're going to include your reflection. So it might be good for you to provide a summary, 1-page summary of what you read, and a 1-page application of the material. How can you apply the material to your professional or personal life? So pretty straightforward, one paragraph on each. And so your first progress report is chapter 1. Your first professional portfolio is chapters 2 and 3. Progress report 2 is chapters 4 and 6. Second professional portfolio is chapters 7 and 8. Progress report 3 is chapters 8, 9, and 10. Oop, that's wrong. That should be 9 and 10. Sorry, I got to change that. Professional portfolio 3 is chapters 11 and 12. And then you'll do a final professional or final reflection in your reflection paper. In the final reflection paper, you'll discuss the book as a whole. I will suggest that you review everything you've written over the course in the semester about the book and your vocation, and discuss any takeaways that you have from this book. And I'll discuss this more in a later presentation. We will also have a reflection forum on courage and calling and a threaded discussion. What you'll do is that you will basically copy and paste your signed courage and calling reflection in the forum. And then I want you to provide 1 to 2 open-ended questions that you had about the reading. So an open-ended question is questions basically can't be answered with a yes/no answer. Just think about questions that you had while you're reading the material. And then what you'll do is that each student will read one other student's post and answer the question that you had. That response should be at least a paragraph, and so that's worth 5 points. Oh, excuse me, you read 2 other students' questions. Sorry, my bad. I should read my directions. So you'll read 2 other students' post and answer their posted questions. And you'll see that your courage and calling reflection initial post for the forum is typically due Sunday, and then the response back to the 2 other students is due the Wednesday of the next week. So if it's due Sunday, next Wednesday, you read and respond to 2 other students. And then what I really like is that you have a continuing discussion. That's why it's called a threaded discussion. So if you answer Joe's 2 questions and you write a response, Joe needs to go back and read what you wrote and comment back to them. So we're having a constant dialogue between students. And you'll see that I say when the threaded discussion will end. It's typically Friday. And I typically do not grade forums until the forum is closed. So you will see that I won't post any grades until the forum is ended. It's usually the Monday after the forum ends. So I can do that on Monday morning. As always, if you have questions about any assignment, please post them in a question and answer form, and I'm happy to help.